I know you do a lot of work with as a community entrepreneur. I think maybe I'd phrase it that way. How do you balance all of that? The personal and professional life, you hear work-life balance, you hear work-life
Yeah.
integration, I've heard work-life harmony. And I ask you in this specific context, Rashmi, many of our listeners, not all of them, who we just want to thank right now, take a moment, thank all of our listeners who have come back, like us, love us, give us hearts, comment, pass us along, share, and share alike. Many, an overwhelming majority, not all, are meeting professionals. And they're the chief cook in the bottle washer. They're also mothers, parents, partners, neighbors. They run small businesses. They work for large organizations. They run big teams, small teams. They're dealing with vendors, with freelancers. Harmony, balance, equilibrium is something that is a focal point to strive for. Events build and come up and peak and come down, and it's a cycle. What would you say to them? How to manage that, how to administer that energy, that mindset?
So this is something that I have struggled with, I would say definitely since my children have been born, but even probably before that. When I was younger, I would say it was all about my career, which is why I got married late in life. I wish I could go back and change that, honestly, because I think I stripped myself from a lot of joy and fun because I was so
Hmm.
focused. Now that I, am a mom, I am
But it
divorced.
was your karma.
It was my karma, yes. But yeah, I'm married and divorced now, and for me, the way I find this harmony and equilibrium is I'm very intentional about my days. For example, I mentioned that yesterday was my daughter's graduation. I obviously did zero work yesterday, right? I
Right.
was like helping her, getting her dressed, whatever. We had a party last night. I do think that there are moments where we have to recognize that we might not be the best at, one part of our life because we are being the best mom that we can be on that day. And, or best might not be the right word, but whatever, the
Optimal.
strive to be optimal in one day. Yeah, optimal is a great word. The other part is for me, I focus a lot on self-care. So I am a big believer in taking care of myself first. And that for me shows up as when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, essentially, I might respond to a few emails, but the first thing I do is I'm in the gym, right? I get dressed and I go to the gym. And it helps my mindset. It reduces stress. It helps me feel good, and it's like look good, feel good, look good. It's sort of this cycle. And as a speaker, I want to feel good on stage. I might have thousands of people staring at me. I want to feel good in that suit or in that dress. So, and working out for me helps me, helps clear my mind. There are lots of times where I'm out for a run or I'm on the bike or in a class and a thought hits me like, oh, I should use these words or, oh, what about that story? And so definitely it feeds my creative side as well. So self-care to me, in addition to that, I skipped over as soon as I wake up, I always meditate, right? So for me, it's finding at least a few moments of peace and quiet where I am finding something to be grateful for. Sometimes it's more than one thing. Actually, when I was in prison, I had a gratitude journal.
Hmm.
And the first thing I did before I got out of my bunk bed and rolled down was I wrote in my gratitude journal. And I wrote the specific gratitude journal that I had was you wrote 3 things that you're grateful for in the morning and what you're going to strive to do that day. And then at night, it was 3 things you're grateful for the day and, what were your takeaways from the day. So I try to do that mentally now and write it down every morning. So that is part of my self-care ritual. That helps me a lot. And then I try to give myself grace. So I say often in my speeches that I try to keep this checklist of things that I want to get through. And I love crossing things off that checklist, right? We're all type A's. We want to feel productive and employees at organizations want to feel the same way. But the trick is when you have this checklist, you just have to give yourself grace that you might not get through it on one particular day. And it might have to roll over and that's okay, right? Oftentimes when we're trying to get everything done in a specific day, that is exactly when, bad decisions happen or go into conflict because we're not thinking through something and we might, be challenged by somebody and we're not able to have a fruitful, healthy conversation about the disagreement, which we need in our organizations and our teams and our families. So that's the other thing is I give myself some grace that I might not get through and accomplish everything I was hoping to accomplish at that particular day. And that's okay. So my way of finding equilibrium, although having said that, lately I sit at my desk till 11 o'clock at night if I have no other plans, because I have a lot of things I'm trying to get through. So, I don't have a partner right now. So it's easier to do that. And my daughter literally just said to me yesterday, Mom, you have to have a little bit more balance in your life. You need to like go out and do some more stuff.
Yeah.
So